Starfield is dead. Exactly like the dream that Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be good. Or that Fallout 5 is gonna be good. Or that Fallout 5 honestly even is made at this point. Or like the idea that Fallout 76 is ever gonna get a expansion or update that doesn't completely brick and kill the game for everyone playing it. You know what? Scratch that. Bethesda in general is pretty dead, and obviously we all know that.
It might finally be happening. Pretty much since release, I've seen comments hoping for, or even excited for, a Starfield 2.0 update, just like what happened to Cyberpunk 2077.
Bro, the people saying, oh, Starfield's gonna have a 2.0 moment exactly like Cyberpunk. Delusion. The highest level of delusion. Complete and utter insanity. The weirdness has taken them. They are lost.
2 years ago now. Unfortunately, that was never a reality for Starfield, at least it wasn't until now, as just recently, Bethesda.
Oh, please. It's not also gonna be a reality now. Starfield is never getting that No Man's Sky redemption story, that Fallout bug fix from the old days, that Cyberpunk 2077 situation. It's never getting that. Bethesda is completely dead.
Started teasing a major new Starfield update that will finally tackle some of the game's biggest complaints. And we even have some leaks backing this all up.
Oh my god, come on, listen. I have said this before. At this point, it's probably easier, by far, by the way, probably easier, to make Starfield 2 not actually fix the issues of this game. The whole thing is just rotten from its very core.
Seems like this huge update will culminate with the release of a brand new DLC and maybe even Starfield on PS5, following almost the exact same formula that CDPR was just successful with. This finally could be Starfield's comeback moment, right as it's opened up to a huge new audience, but the game has also found a second life with mods, and very specifically Star Wars mods, as they're even starting
It hasn't found shit.
to replace the main story of Starfield, converting the game into an open-world Star Wars RPG. But whether you like Star Wars, Starfield, or even just space, Displate has got you covered. Displates are high-quality metal posts. Starfield in 2025 has been really quiet. Following the release of Shadowed Space last year,
Starfield has been quiet, by the way, since its release, when it lost all of its players in less than a week.
We've only gotten a few more updates for the game, including 2 updates in 2025, and neither of these added in major new features outside of creations. Watchtower was a community-made creation that was pretty much like a DLC, costing about—
Oh my god, are we gonna talk about this garbage again? No, this is not an actual DLC. It's something that just Bethesda wants you to waste your money on because you're a moron. This is imbecile bait. This was bad. No one liked it. Stop. This is not good.
$10, I honestly thought it was pretty awesome for the cost. But the teams at Bethesda have been surprisingly quiet.
You know when you failed when you say for the cost, okay?
And now we're starting to learn that they were secretly working on something. Things really kicked off back in August as MP First reported that Starfield was coming to PS5. This following a series of older rumors that this would be—
The funny part was PS5 players were like, no thank you. I do not actually want this.
the case. We even heard that the PS5 release was supposed to happen with Shattered Space last year, but apparently now it's coming in 2026 instead, a 2-year delay. Starfield won't be released in 2025, partly due to the RPG's weak sales of the first expansion, Shattered Space. Instead, Microsoft is leaning towards releasing the Starfield PS5 version in spring.
Weak sales for Shattered Space, by the way, don't even begin to describe how bad it was. You see the whole— Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna show you. It's been a while, boys. Starfield Steam DB. Give me a second. I'll open it up and share the screen, okay? Okay. Sharing screen right now. Okay. So this is Starfield Steam DB. 56%. That is, no one's buying this, okay? It's trash. 3K people in it. In it to win it, boys, and it's not looking good. See, this, by the way, right here, Also this, I mean, it's a little bit better visible here, right? This is the player base of Shattered Space. How fast did it die? Well, you know, very fast. Very fast, ridiculously fast. In a month, this game was dead. In 2 weeks, roughly, this game lost 50% of its player base, and you know. Where in this whole thing, by the way, do you see the expansion? Because it dropped and no one cared. It's here. Right there. This peak right here. Yes. This was Shattered Space. This was Shattered Space right there. That's right. From no one cares to literally no one keeps caring. It didn't even boost the player numbers up by double. And this is why Bethesda is giving completely up on this garbage. Because they released their grand expansion, and you can't even properly see the peak on the on SteamDB. Okay, you kind of know it's there if you know where to look at it, but there's no point. Okay, and these were some big patches, and I say big, I mean big like this, air quotes big, because they weren't actually big. But yeah, when you release an expansion that everyone got for free and no one comes back to play your slop game, there is no future. There is no fixing that.
2026. For those not in the US, spring starts in the middle of March and runs until mid-June. Starfield's release on PS5 is planned to coincide with the game's second expansion and other quality of life updates. So that's a ton of info, and as far as legitimacy, NP First had other past leaks come true, such as around the Oblivion remaster. So as far as the legitimacy of these claims, other people have been reporting similar things, and yeah, we could trust this one. So Starfield does have a bright future, but it's looking like that future is coming in 2026. But assuming we could all wait that long, it's going to be a very big content drop. PS5 release, a major update, as well as a new DLC all around the same time. In the recent dev spotlight with Tim Lamb, the current lead creative producer on Starfield, we got some insights into what that update might be.
We have some cool stuff coming.
What the hell is this?
Producer on
What the hell is this?
Starfield, we got some insights into what that update might be.
Well, actually, I know exactly what that is. That's the thumbnail of this video.
Have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features players have been asking for, as well as a new DLC story. I can't go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding.
I believe you.
We're also adding some new game systems and a few other...
I don't obviously believe a single word of his lying mouth.
Smaller delights.
So that too was a huge reveal, the first real confirmation we've had from Bethesda of a space travel overhaul, because it really seems like that's what these space gameplay upgrades will be. A few updates ago, something known as cruise travel was found in the files of Starfield. Bethesda even quickly updated the game to remove the mentions of it, this seemingly being a different way to get around space, where you can manually control the travel between planets like traveling at a much higher rate of speed. This of course being a solution to the long-hated load screen problem in Starfield, where really no matter what you do, you're going to see tons of load screens while trying to adventure around. Now instead, there wouldn't be a load screen. Instead, you just travel.
By the way, even if they do this, I am willing to bet everything I have on the fact that they will flat out not remove the stupid animations for getting into chairs
very quickly in your ship from planet to planet. It's hard to say how exactly this would work in-game, but data mines make it sound pretty similar to the Astrogate mod, which allows you to fly faster than light between planets. In cruise travel, the transport sequence will end once you hit a certain point. So likely once you get close enough to the planet, it'll revert to what we have now in the tip.
So the problem with this is obviously you're just entering another loading screen, right? And it's going to be blatantly visible. The second problem is the fact that you're still going to need to, go on the planet, which they will not fix. You're not going to have some kind of landing animation or anything like that. It's going to be the same shit as before. So this effectively fixes nothing. I mean, it's almost in the right direction of what needs to be done, but in general, it's not going to actually change anything.
Orbital.
It just sounds good on paper until you actually think about it.
Travel, and there's even mentions of a space random encounter that could occur at the ending of this. So pretty similar to how it works now, after you get out of the load screen, a random encounter can occur, and this can be really cool.
Wow.
Imagine having the opportunity to get up and walk around your ship while it's going on that minute-long flight to another system. You could manually control it during this flight or just throw on autopilot. Or hey, maybe even have Vasco control the flying. This could end with some pirates boarding your ship in a random encounter, or maybe it's taking fire and all of a sudden you have to rush back to your ship's controls to fight back. And in a weird way, if all of this ends up coming true, if they really are working on a much
Now, also, if they actually add that, that's going to be worse than your typical fast travel nonsense, because no one likes ship combat in this game. It's lame, it's boring, it's dull. No one wants to spend more time in ships in this already godforsaken game.
larger update slated for next year, Starfield not getting updates in 2025 actually becomes pretty exciting. The last major update was around Shattered Space with the rover in September of 2024, so we could be looking at nearly a year and a half of dev time on this larger update and DLC, which again is exactly what—
By the way, do you know how much I do not believe in this? Pete some Parsons, or what his name, what is his name from Xbox, said that, oh, Starfield would have done so much better if we didn't release the rover before the expansion. The guy literally said, oh yeah, the expansion that no one played, it would have been a hit, I say, if we just didn't release the rover before the expansion. People would have loved it. No, obviously, but that's just how stupid these people are.
Many fans have been hoping for. Beyond just space travel upgrades, Bethesda also mentions new game systems and other small delights. The other hugely requested feature is a point of interest overhaul. The addition of this rover made getting to points of interest a lot more bearable now, but a lot of the points of interest themselves are still pretty
You know what's the funny part? You didn't even need to add the rover. You could have just made the jetpacking more fun. You could have added sliding, you could have added so much shit to make it fun, but you didn't.
A giant pack of new POIs or even some more custom content being injected here could totally change all of that, especially if we get some more handmade or unique points of interest placed among certain planets so exploration becomes more specific and enjoyable for those planets or systems. And I think this is really smart from Bethesda, potentially fixing some of the biggest Starfield issues for a almost relaunch of the game to go along with the PS5 release could be just enough to give Starfield a second life. And what might suck a lot of us back in is the second DLC. In the recent Starfield anniversary post, Bethesda embedded a teaser for what is very likely to be DLC number 2. If you connect the flashing frames, you can make out Terran Armada, which honestly is about as exciting a DLC name as you can get. And also, off to the side, we can see what looks like a supernova or some kind of explosion around one system, perhaps a newly added system.
Ugh, it's a gate probably opening or something.
So breaking this down, Terran means Earth. Armada typically refers to a fleet of ships. Obviously, Earth in Starfield is destroyed. I won't spoil what happened here, it's a big part of the main story, but it's a bad—
It's not a big part of the story. Spoiler alert, humans destroyed the Earth with the grav drive technology that you literally don't care. It's a throwaway fucking line.
Stuff went down and people realized it ahead of time and fled Earth. That's really one of the big reasons everyone took to the stars. So speculating around this DLC from its name, what if some group from Earth went out somewhere to create a new home, but then this new home also blew up or had some kind of catastrophe? Now, they're coming back to the settled systems, maybe with plans to take back Earth or something along those lines. Something I've
So that sounds like a ridiculously stupid plan, by the way, because Earth is inhabited, so, you know, if they want to get it back, sure, go for it.
Personally always wanted from Starfield is a more handcrafted system experience. So imagine the Soul system getting
I do not want that. I already saw what that is in Shattered Space, and yeah, I do not want a handcrafted experience. It's actually more slop than the random generated experience.
Bunch of additional handcrafted content, making exploration here, perhaps with a new manual flight mode, more enjoyable than ever, not having to fast travel around anymore and having reasons to explore these planets. So now, of course, that's heavy on the speculation and hopefulness from me, but it does match pretty closely with a lot of the feedback fans have been giving, and I'm sure Bethesda's paying attention to that, especially now as it seems like they're transitioning into rectifying some of the biggest fan complaints. And this DLC may also have a very long dev time. Back in June 2024, when speaking to Mr. Matty Plays, Todd Howard mentions how they already were planning the second Starfield expansion. That's not to say it was already in pre-production all the way back then, but at least conceptually,
My favorite part about Starfield is how dead inside Todd feels about it, because Starfield was supposed to be his big thing. He was dreaming about making exactly Starfield for, like, since he was a kid. And his dream came true. Be careful what you wish for.
Ideas were there a year ago already, so this too should hopefully end up being a meatier piece of content, especially considering the negative reception to the first expansion, and Bethesda seemingly changing their plans as a result. Hopefully a lot of the negative feedback around Shattered Space is being accounted for here, so we will get something larger. So for better or for worse, it almost feels like Bethesda is just kind of sitting out 2025 with Starfield. I don't predict a major update before the end of the year, but in spring of 2026, we will likely see the biggest content update yet between DLC, new paid mods, and of course, the free update. And as far as when we'll be learning about all of this, there really isn't any obvious date. The Game Awards in December seems like a big opportunity, but Bethesda might also just wait until 2026, depending on how late into the year this content does drop. But when it comes to Bethesda games, sometimes a lack of updates isn't a bad thing, as this has opened up 2025 as a year for modders to really thrive, and what I found is the most impressive example from modders so far is Star Wars mods, most notably
Oh, this actually look good.
Wars Genesis, a comprehensive Star Wars overhaul for Starfield that you can even have automatically installed with Wabbajack. And this experience is quite custom. As you set up your character, you're going to have a host of new Star Wars races available to you. Races you'll of course see all throughout the overhauled cities and even new locations in-game, but also other things, new traits and backgrounds that are far more fitting for a Star Wars universe.
But it's still Starfield. Reskinning it like this doesn't change the fact that I want to puke when I see it. I can tell this is sad. I can tell this is the religious thing. I can tell this is the old fuck. It's still Starfield at the end of the day. Even though, I mean, the city looked pretty awesome, right, boys? I mean, I'm not alone here, right? This looked pretty cool. I mean, it's just that it's still Starfield.
But perhaps most handy for returning players, this comes with alternate start, so I can instantly start on Geonosis with a custom bounty hunter loadout and even a spaceship for my own unique adventure. In this world, I don't have to join Constellation. Instead, I just started with the artifact and I can immediately head to Constellation and just sell it to them for 10,000 credits, choosing not to join them but leaving that option open for later. And this mod does feature a partially overhauled story. It's still a work in progress, but early on things are very custom with this mod. And this is an incredibly fun way to play Starfield because it's now a true Han Solo simulator. I was making my way over to some molten planets looking for Anakin's legs. Many iconic locations are added here, such as Hoth with several unique biomes on it, and of course the...
Did he say molten planets looking for Annie's legs? Kind of base, not gonna lie.
Enemies you encounter will be overhauled. Star Wars Genesis comes with a soft point of interest overhaul of its own, so here I'm taking on the Hutt Clan's outpost featuring a bunch of new types of NPCs, or later on I was storming...
I can recognize this from the game. This is not new. This, again, it's poorly reskinned. Again, yeah, it looks different, but it's still Starfield, and that makes me hate it.
NPCs, or later on I was storming an old cloning lab and taking on stormtroopers as well as clone trooper remnants in one of the totally new points of interest. And even beyond exploration, there are further overhauls here. Enemy AI is much smarter, with time to kill being much lower. All of the weapons in this feel
That's bullshit, considering I just wanted to talk about how bad the time to kill looks here.
All of the weapons in this feel viable, and you come up against enemies dropping all sorts of new and custom items. They even modded back in NPCs dropping their full inventory. Starfield doesn't have that by default. So it's not only a very unique feeling universe, but also one with distinct gameplay. And hey, if you already own Starfield, this is a really great method to get another dozen or more hours of enjoyment out of it. It's totally free.
I'm gonna say no thank you. Again, I think it's bait. Anyway, that was Juice Head 10 out of 10. Bye!